Okay. What we're looking at today is a red dot site that was sent to me by NFStrike. They said, hey, we want you to take a look at these optics and stuff, and I said, okay. Um, it appears to be what I would assume is a real steel, or probably more akin to airsoft type quality. Um, it is a die-cast piece. It is a very much metal housing, metal brackets, even the adjustment or the selector piece here. Everything seems to be entirely metal except for, of course, the lens on the front. It appears to be well built. It's very solid feeling. Very much doesn't feel like a knockoff by any means. There's no obvious branding on it. The instructions as well are very vague. It just has a picture saying, here's what each button does, here's how to adjust it. Rather vague instructions, no branding or anything like I said. So I'm not sure as far as like accuracy and stuff, I don't know. But since this is in the context of Nerf, then I really don't think that it is really a big issue. I would judge this as being more of an aesthetics piece for our applications as far as, I'm sure it works better than, the Nerf, actual branded Nerf optics and things. But probably it has, I can't judge to its firearm precision or anything at, 100 yards or whatever. But it is built solid. It's a two-color. It has a red button and a green button, which you turn on with just pushing the button. See if we can. There's the red, and then you push the other button for the green, and then to turn it off, you push both buttons at the same time. Also, say you have the selected on, gives you one brightness, and then successive pushes of the button makes it even brighter, which is hard to tell on the camera because it just looks like it's dang bright. But it will go brighter, I think 6 different settings of brightness before it goes back down to the original level, which in my experience, the original brightness is plenty. It's a very crisp, very bright, vivid image, which is nice. It does give you the choice of 4 different selections, which are just toggled through by this little paddle on the back. And so you have, we'll put the green on again because it's more visible. There we go. You have kind of the circle with the thing through it, and then you have just the X with a dot in the middle, then you have a circle with a dot, then you have just the dot itself. So just different combinations of the same images, basically. Pretty solid, I'd say. And again, turn it off with both buttons. But no, nice piece. It's when they originally sent it to me and said, "Hey, look at this thing," it was at the kind of the usual discount that you expect from NFStrike and Light and all those. But when I just checked, it was at 35, which seems a bit steep for what I guess our use. You can get cheaper options that'll fulfill essentially the same level of accuracy that we use in the hobby. I don't think I would pay the 35 given price, the non-discounted price or whatever. But for this thing, I mean, like I said, it is a solid piece. There's some, rinky-dink knockoffs you can get for 10 to 15, or more simplified versions and stuff that you can get cheap. But this, for what it is, I would say around that 20 to even 25-ish mark. If this is what you're after, then I would say it's pretty solid. Like I said, it's built well. The little selector toggle thing here is a bit stiff, but it's not so stiff that it's difficult to use. Just stiff that it's not going to get bumped, which is nice. And like I said, even the lever is metal. Brackets are all metal. It clamps on very securely, which is nice. I haven't really been using it, but just kind of tinkering with it on the Dominator here, which I don't know how accurate to spec the Picatinny is, but it drops on just fine. It comes included with the little specific adjuster or mounting piece. Allen wrench also is adjusted with a kind of discreetly hidden adjustment here that adjusts the up and down, and then this guy over here adjusts the side to side. Of course, in Nerf, you generally have to put a bit of a crank on it just to go with to make it work for our applications. But once it's on, it's just these two guys, and he's really not going anywhere. I mean, it's very, very secure. You don't have to worry about it getting knocked off or broken. I think this would probably, in the case of an accident, would outlive the blaster. So, no, really a surprisingly secure piece. I'm not by no means a firearms expert or an expert on tactical optic things or whatever, but if you hand me this product and say, hey, would you recommend this to Nerfy people? Then I would say, well, if that's what you're looking for, then yes. It is a steeper price point than I think I usually like, but then I am admittedly cheap, and I don't necessarily need these because I don't have a whole lot of super high power, accurate blasters anyway, so far. But as far as if someone was looking for it and said, hey, I'm looking at this, would you recommend it? I'd say, yeah, I think it's a solid buy. There again, I would definitely wait till it comes on that the typical sale that you get from NFStrike, Light Ache, and all those. But there again, around the 20 to 25, I think is a perfectly solid buy. 35 is a bit steep in my opinion. So that is the, I believe, the conclusion to my opinion. It does come with 3 batteries. It runs on 3 batteries stored here. There again, use the included Allen wrench to take this door off. You drop in 3 of these little dudes that are included. Just little button cell guys. Don't know how long the battery life is on it because I've not run it out yet. But no, it is a well-built piece. It operates the way it's supposed to. The image is very bright and vivid. The image comes out clear. When I was first playing with it, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with these. I was wondering why the image seemed a little blurry, but then I realized, well, you're not supposed to be looking at the dot. You're supposed to be looking at the image, and then the dot comes in perfectly clear, which I thought was really cute. But I suppose that's the way it's supposed to work, which means it works appropriately. So, yeah, I think it's a solid piece, and yes, I would recommend it. There again, given that price point. So this concludes my opinion. Now, to those of you watching in stream, I will back up through the chat here and see if anybody happens to have particular questions, and then I will address them. Hello, hello, hello. Too quiet, too quiet, too quiet. Okay. Nifty feature on the reticles, yes. What site is this model off of? It is just, it's kind of its own guy. I don't know if it's really designed off anything in particular. I wonder what's the parallax like. Ed, you're going to have to help me out with that for me to be able to help you. Because I don't know what the heck parallax means, Ed. Okay, test the parallax of the scope by pointing it straight down and passing it under the camera. Make sure it stays perpendicular to the camera direction. That's okay. On that guy so you can see it. Okay. Meant in line. Does that tell you what you need to know? See if I can hold a little straighter here. Need a scope for my Jupiter since it's completely ridiculous. I actually thought about using this on my Jupiter when I was at the arena, but is really more of a hassle on the blaster itself. So, all right. Well, is there any? So that is not perfect parallax, better than the average airsoft. I'm very impressed. Okay. All right. If there are no further questions, then I think we'll conclude this stream and move on to something else. So thank you very much for those of you who chimed in, and we'll see you guys next time.